Hello there, my name is Victor Oguinka, and you're welcome to the midweek edition of Today in the News, and of course all of those newspapers across the Federation, and looking at the major headlines everywhere.
Over 1,000 people are benefiting from free medical services provided by the FCT chapter.
Someone Arsenal fans will be very interested in this news. Arsenal's first club transfer record signed Pep.
Good morning and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. My name is Damilola Ogunshaki, and today I'm with my co-host
Precious Chukudi.
It's so lovely that I'm not doing this alone today.
Well, it's good to be here too.
Yeah, very good. How's the week been so far? How's it been going for you?
Well, I don't know. I've seen a different Nigeria in this week, like in Nigeria that you're wondering what exactly is happening. Are people just waking up? Because it's been a long time, seeing the kind of energy that you see on the streets of social media and also on the streets outside. Like, I saw clips of people who slept at protest ground in the cold, and I'm like, are you serious?
It's good to see that youth are just, standing up and, coming together to do something in order to achieve, their.
But then, do you still think that the protests they've been doing so far, do you think that it will come to an end anytime soon?
I don't think so, because from there I think they're going to move to demanding different things. This is the time for them to ask for the things that they really need and what they've been looking for. I think it's great that. But I think if we discuss about this today, we'll just finish the show ourselves. But of course, let's start reviewing the front page of Vanguard, and here we have new twist as hashtag NSAS protesters reject SWAT, and armed thugs attack protesters in Abuja, Lagos. Sanwo-Olu appeals, says government currently addressing demands. Hashtag NSAS protest, reflection of leadership failure. That's coming from Okowa. Motorist commuters stranded, lament as protests trigger traffic gridlocks. No to SWAT, protest them rock worry. Akwazu SARS under lock as protesters paralyze Oka. Police have killed 10 hashtag NSAS protesters, and that's coming from Amnesty International. Hashtag NSAS founder Segalinks dissociates self from protests. Change things for the better, Banky W tells the federal government. I support youth peaceful protest as they'll speak up. That's coming from Pastor Adeboye. And you can see that on page 5. And on the front page, we still have photo stories of protesters in Lagos, and also that of the thugs that attacked protesters in Lagos yesterday. And also here we have a summary of protesters' demand. So if you want to know this, you can get a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. Now moving on to the stories above, we have insecurity. CNG plans a mass protest in 19 northern states today. And you can see that on page 8. And speaking about rape on page 7, federal government talks tough, says rape will no longer be bailable. And on page 6, I've lost count of how many times daddy raped me, says 13-year-old girl. And that's sad. On page 34, we have JP Clark's children speak. Repeal Nigeria Police Trust Fund now. PDP governors charge federal government and NAS. You can see that on page 8. And lastly, on the front page of Vanguard, we have CBN to sanction exports without proceeds numbers. And you can see that on page 19. And that's all we have on Vanguard newspaper. From there, we move straight to the Punch newspaper.
And on the Punch newspaper, we have main headlines. Outrage as thugs attack protesters in Lagos, Abuja. Hashtag NSAS hit Kano. The rider says hoodlums vandalized vehicles, injure protesters. Lagos attackers arrested. Buhari's regime divisive, says Afeni Ferre. Attack on protesters sad, NBA lament. Criminally minded Nigerians sponsored talk, Yaga. Federal government to blame, says SAN. There's a photo stories of protesters as well as cars that were being vandalized, and also the talks that were arrested. And stories above, we have uncertainty surrounds APC convention as fresh registration splits party. You can see that on page 13 and on page 43. Magu presidential panel begins verification of seized assets. And on page 11, appeal court declares Police Act 2020 illegal, notifies constable recruitment. And the stories beneath, we have fleeing gunmen who killed Ogun mother, abducted daughter arrested. And lastly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have Ogun Assembly grills Amosun's ex-aide over OPIC fund. And that's what we can take on the front page of the Punch newspaper.
And that's all we can take on the front pages of the papers this morning. We'll be going on a short break, and when we return, we'll have a guest who will be joining us via Zoom, and he'll be analyzing the stories on the front pages. Stay with us, we'll be back.
How many people find witness today, but they still took me away to collect money. I couldn't get them the ticket, but I gave them 10,000 naira just for me to be able to travel down to the concert. So we are out here today because we want to end SARS. Cabinet to do something. When Okada people, they said they were aiming robbery, they banned them from moving. But now we are saying we want an end to SARS because they are brutalizing and harassing us, and yet they are telling us that they can't end it. We want to end SARS today. This is why we are here, and we are sleeping here. We are not going to play. So they end it. So this is what we say. God bless you.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Today in the News on Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki, and I've been with my co-host
Precious Chukudi.
And of course, we reviewed the front pages of some of the papers, and we have a guest who will be joining us via Zoom now. He's the person of Gwenro Olajuigbe, Executive Director, Emergency and Risk Alert. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us this morning. So, of course, still talking about, SARS that is still going on, the end SARS protest. The agitation for police reforms continued nationwide yesterday. And, of course, this time they were calling for an end to the special weapons and tactical unit, that's SWAT, saying that this is not a new unit, it's an old unit, and them saying that they are bringing them is just like saying they want to bring old SARS in the new uniform. That's what they're saying. So what do you think about this?
Well, let me commend the Nigerian youth for their resilience, for certain realization of their power, of the right, consciousness of rights, and for leading this process. Those of us have been eager to give them solidarity, but then it's a good thing that this is happening in our country. But let me only tell you that the rot that SARS became, it was a structural one. I always say it, and we don't have a structure that can support enduring legal regime in a very just atmosphere. So there's still a wider, bigger, and larger challenge ahead, in spite of the fact that the Inspector General has come out to substitute SARS with SWAT. So it's neither here nor there for now, because this SWAT is not a new thing. Civil Defense had it about 8 years ago. It was once established. The same name, the same acronym, the same meaning as the established before by Civil Defense. But the issue is not in the name. What we are addressing is the symptom. The real problem is still domiciled within the police system and structure. So it has entrenched lawlessness, entrenched capricious use of power because you have gun and bullets. That is the history of Nigerian police, the trend of abuse of rights, the trend of violation of people's privacy, which SARS copiously carried out during his reign. To me, I can say that this is not an idea of our of calling for destruction, of calling for police reform, because you find out that it is sudden. You exterminated SARS. The next 48 hours, you came up with another one. What process has gone into it? What is this to placate people so that they move out the street? Or it couldn't have been so sudden and so new at the same time. It couldn't have been so emergency and so robustly thought of. So I don't think it's just to placate people that they are doing something. Nigeria is not looking for what you will rush. What Nigeria is looking for, what will be systematically and put in place that we sustain securitization of Nigeria within the context of rule of law. Period. That is what, and you cannot just wake up and make a declaration that another thing is has been established in place of SARS. I think it's too rushy to believe. And that when you have this type of gift, it looks like great gifts. So the entire police institution needs urgent reform. It's not about SARS alone. Ordinary police equally abuse rights. In fact, I was along the other day, about 2 days ago. One was cooking gun against us in car. Out
Mr. Gbero, we're talking about this protester. So yesterday, hoodlums attacked some of them in places where they were protesting, like in Lagos here at Alausa and also in Abuja. So the one that happened in Lagos here, it seems when they were attacked by hoodlums, they complained that why this was going on, why they were being attacked with the police monitoring the protest. When the hoodlums came, attacked them, they were just looking. The police officers were looking. They just stood aloof and watched the scenario play out, and they didn't do anything. So they had to fight the hoodlums by themselves, and after that they handed them over to the police. So what do you think about the way the police is actually handling this whole protest that is going on?
When there's peaceful protest, it's only that this is the part of secession to irresponsibility that has become part of security agencies' behavior and pattern of support for abuse of people's rights we are talking about. Let me tell you, when there is a peaceful protest, the responsibility of police is to protect the protesters against any other destiny, so that their message can be read, heard, and possibly acted or act upon. Not that another counter group will now begin to carry cordial weapons of diverse dimension and instrument and tools that will cause harm, even death, in order to engage those that are engaged civil, peaceful protests. So it was enough for the police and us to have looked aloof while the other parties were if they interested in supporting SARS, they should go and organize their own. There's no need for any crisis to be caused, any violence to be triggered or initiated. And if that happens, it is the duty of police.
Now let's talk. Mr. Gbero, let's talk about their demands. When their demands came out, according to reports, the president said that they've accepted 5 of their demands, and now they're actually asking for. The protesters are saying that they should increase the police salaries. They should increase their, they should compensate them adequately. Now, do you think if they do this will actually, change the whole police system and it will clean the corruption that is currently in the police force?
Which compensation? Those who are advocating for compensating police don't know what we are dealing with, don't know the institutional rot that is within the police. But they say that if you pay a constable 1 million naira today, the rot will continue. All you need to do is just to go to between Akara and Agri Road. They are turned into banks. I was there for about 10 days and I traversed the public vehicle, and I just found out that even those drivers, they have books
quickly ask you this question. You know, talking about these protesters now, apparently, you know, where they are protesting, we have they are being provided with foods and different things. So, you know, many of them are saying they are relaxed, and now there are reports that they have people sponsoring them. And according to what we are hearing now, CBN have started freezing the account of those sponsoring the protests. What do you think about this? That CBN is currently doing this?
That is a third party. Who is sponsoring who? Who sponsored? Was it NBC that sponsored the one they did against Jonathan? Who sponsored them then? They are talking rubbish. The fact is that the political youth have been taking for a very long time. And look, I have said it every time, everywhere, that the revolt of intelligence is the worst form of revolt you can have. If you like, listen to what the government of the district is talking about. And if you don't like as a government, continue in iniquity. And the fact is that it has started, it has been neglected, nothing can stop it, not even blackmail or pay sponsor. That is just the challenge the federal government shouldn't be looking for anything elsewhere. The question is that SARS, are they not abusing their offices? Are they not killing young people? Are they not changing European Nigerians? Are they not moving about with POS to extract money illegally, criminally from the so-called suspects? Those are the issues, those are the challenges, not the funny blackmail that somebody is sponsoring them. I also already sponsor them. For example, am I not happy that they are on the street now? I'm happy I can buy food for them, buy water, and does that qualify me to pay? Because I see myself in them, I see them as a representative of the genuine cause, driving the genuine cause of the street of Nigeria, making leaders to account. Life is too precious to be wasted anyhow, and enough is enough. That is the message of distress. Those people should go and package their blackmail well. They are sponsors. Who is not sponsor the life?
All right, Mr. Greenwood.
Your conscience is sponsoring you. You are motivated by your character, for your character is sponsoring you. You are motivated by what you know, the intelligence, the information you have. So that thing can motivate you. Is it a fact that Nigeria youth have no job? Unemployment rate going on, and you are talking of who is sponsoring who. That is paradise.
Oh. All right, Mr. Gbero, the coalition of Northern Group CNG has said it will begin non-stop protest against the insecurity in northern region today. And with the series of protests going on in the country, do you think that the president's attention has been achieved really?
Look, what is happening? It should have been done earlier. What is happening is suppression of genuine grievances. That is what is causing all this problem. It's not the first that those in Castina, where they have been killed in droves. They are back on protest the other day. Some of them were arrested. And the number of people, they want to do it. people of Nigeria.
All right, with the large turnout of protesters at various locations, now a lot of people are beginning to say that maybe the government appears not to be listening to the yearnings of the people, especially when it comes to ASU, because they are saying that if ASU strike was resolved, I won't have this number of youth who are coming out to block the streets, and they will probably be focused in their education and whatnot. So what do you think about the federal government not listening to the yearnings of the people?
Well, this right, remember that after this started this strike for over 5 months now, where people are locked down and everything. The impact was not so serious because everybody was at that particular time. The students are expected to go back to school now. For God's sake, if they are not children that are school in Nigeria, will they leave education in this year spirit? Will education be bastardized by poor funding of education, by poor salaries to the teachers? That is the major resource of education. If your children are part of that, what we should be talking now is one, enhance learning atmosphere for both students and teachers in the universities. In there is generally tertiary school, in primary and secondary school. That is the responsibility of the functional education. It's not negotiable. You can't be buying house and buying whatever you like. Senators, house of representatives, executive ministers are living imperial life. Imperial life at the expense of the country. And you want them to produce we need to do that. The energy of productivity to begin to take kilos. And you know that as I used to say, if you take kilos, you have monkeys working for you. So what Pastor is saying is that we don't want to become to the monkeys again. Enough. And they are telling the baboon must listen. The baboon must listen. Because a good someone the other day, the same of the monkey and the baboon will be saying the blood, they not dialogue, and the people don't listen to themselves.
All right, sir.
This is the quote of one of the baboon who must listen. Now, so I also decide the strike, the embargo, because what is a just strike, and most of you look at the alternative provided for the IDPs that the federal government and the system know.
All right.
So all of them should be addressed. Not that you treat everything as nil, and the only thing you have has become hammer.
Okay, so I want to ask you. Okay, let's just move away from the protest matter and a recent law that just came out, and that's the fact that the federal government has, said that rape should no longer be a bailable offense. What do you think? Do you think this is a step in the right direction for victims of rape?
Well, years ago, I have even written work on this rape. I was working on a project called Access to Justice in Nassau State. What I have proposed, look, rape is a very terrible crime because it's like murder. Because the victim or the affected person are the psychologically murdered. In fact, in some cases, they are murdered. Look at the situation of the young lady who was killed the other day. And several people have been killed through rape. And several people have been infected by killer diseases through rape. And some
Thank you, Mr. Aguero. Sorry, I have to cut you. I have to cut in there because we've run out of time. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us, and of course some of the intelligent things that you've told us. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
And that's Mr. Gbero Olajigbe, Executive Director of Emergency and Risk Alert. Of course, he has analyzed the stories on the front pages. But before we go, let's just look at what our lovely couples are saying. That's Mr. and Mrs. And the first person that speaking today is Mr. It says, I know women like the back of my hand. I can't tell you how much I made from the business. Why Mrs. was replying, I'll remember that when you are broke.
This has to be very funny, but I like how they always come for each other and they always have responses for one another.
But seriously, I can Mr. knows like the back of his hand.
Nah. You can never know a woman.
You can't
even know a man. I think you can just know.
No, but I think for a woman, say even the husband sometimes you can't really know your wife completely. That is it. We are ladies, we're women.
I can see when you're trying to understand about women.
That's from our director. We just have to mention it. But thank you very much. It's been lovely. Presenting this with you and also with our guests. And thank you very much for joining us today. But of course, to do more, you can always like and follow us on our social media platforms that are showing on your screen, or visit our website www.vanguardngr.com to get more of our top stories. I'm Damilola Ogunshake and I'll be with my co-host
Precious Chukudi.
And also thanks of course to our director who is at the back of the scene, and that's Emmanuel Pankoli. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. It's bye from us.
Find witness today, but they still took me away to collect money from I couldn't get them the ticket, but I gave them 10,000 naira just for me to be able to travel down to the concert. So we are out here today because we want to end SARS. Government to do something. When Okada people they said they were aiming robbery, they banned them from movement. But now we are saying we want an end to SARS because they are brutalizing and harassing us, and yet they are telling us that they can't end it. We want to end SARS. This is why we are here, and we are sleeping here. We are not moving.